Iran has begun a large-scale state funeral for dozens of people killed during its recent conflict with Israel, among them top military commanders and nuclear scientists. State television has confirmed that the ceremony began today morning with crowds dressed in black flooding the streets, waving Iranian flags and holding portraits of those lost in the 12-day war. Roughly 60 individuals are being honored, many of them senior officials tied to Iran's elite military units and nuclear program. The public funeral marks a moment of national mourning and defiance as Iran's leadership seeks to rally public support after a costly conflict. Images aired by state media showed massive processions, chants of resistance, and emotional scenes as coffins draped in Iranian flags were carried through the streets. Among the mourners were high-ranking clerics, political leaders, and members of the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps. While Tehran has claimed a symbolic victory against what it calls aggression by Israel and the United States, the loss of key figures has struck a heavy blow to the regime's military and scientific establishment. Some of the slain nuclear scientists were believed to be involved in Iran's most sensitive projects, and their deaths may have long-term impacts on Iran's strategic capabilities. Today's funeral also sends a message to both domestic and international audiences that despite devastating strikes and diplomatic pressure, Iran is doubling down on its narrative of resilience, martyrdom, and national pride. As tension in the region remain high, today's funeral underscores just how deep the scars of this war already run.
میدان انقلاب خودداری بکنید تا انشالله مراسم طبق برنامه پیش بینی شده جلو بره انشالله. هر کجا صدای من رو میشنوی روز دوم محرم هست، هم نوایی و هم صدایی.
Now we have live visuals. As you can see, the funeral is being held in Iran with, it seems like some mourners are dressed in black clothing, and there is a moderator or narrator. He's a man and he has said something, and now people are showing support. Now we are joined for this discussion with Ali M. Abushbak. He's a Middle East Affairs researcher joining us live from Cairo. Thank you, Ali, for joining us today. Good to see you. Ali, what message do you think Tehran hopes these images and live footages of all the people gathering for this funeral send to Israel and the United States, as well as the world? What do you think is this message that's coming from Iran?
Thank you, Soma, for having me again. I guess it's a grave day in Iran and Tehran especially, and today, since the funeral started and began to ceremony that the people who got killed during the war, 12 days of wars. Usually Iran and the people in Iran gather to participate in funeral and massive funeral to offer pray to the people who got killed during the war, and also chanting a slogan against Israel and against America, wearing a black color, dressing black. It has a symbolic to represent their grief and to represent their angry against America and Israel. These scenes also usually Iran crowding a million of people to participate in such a protest or such a funeral, which means that the massive of people supporting the regime, supporting the current regime, also supporting the government, and they are behind the government with regard the nuclear program. So also it's renewing the support to Ayatollah Khomeini to represent that against the American statement that he released yesterday. Usually this protest has a symbolic that people are all that the social cohesion in Iran, unlike what we have witnessed, that propaganda that the people and the public in Iran, they are not supporting the government, they are not supporting a revolutionary guard. So also that, as I mentioned, the black, it's representing they're angry and they are outraged against the American and Israel attack. People from children, women, men, and old people, they are participate to represent the social cohesion and to represent their support to regime. So
And
yes,
Ali, now we see, like just like you have said, that Iran's leadership has sent us a clear message, or sent US and the world a clear message that it's not how we assumed from outside, that Iran's leadership does not have much of support. It's very clear from these visuals that we're seeing live here that a lot of even the ladies are, it seems like they are maybe chanting something or are in the prayer, maybe with these black gowns. And so how do you think that this is different from what we have known so far, or we used to know about Iran's support, Iran's people's support toward their leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, and how effective is this narrative now, mobilizing ordinary Iranians, especially the younger generation? And now we see all these people actually show up to show support.
Usuma, the things is about young people. Most of them, they are belongs to Passage. The Passage is a one of a brigade of the Revolutionary Guard as well. They are participating and so active in Iran. These forces also mobilize several of people to participate in this and in this funeral. And this is not the first funeral, and we have witnessed several, like during Qasem Soleimani funeral, and also Fakhrizadeh, the scientist, Iranian nuclear scientist who killed in 2020. So also these and also worth mentioning that during this funeral, they are I mean, the slogan, the people, they are chanting the death to America, the death to Israel, which make the people more boiling against their enemy. And as well as this kind of a slogan, it's common in Iran and in its proxy in the area, like also Ansarullah al-Houthi, they are chanting this slogan several of time, as well as Hezbollah in Lebanon, and also that the Islamic Revolution, the Islamic resistance group militant group in Iraq. So this a clear message to America and Israel. You didn't devastated the regime. You didn't devastated the Revolutionary Guard in Iran, and Iran is still strong, not only by its power and weapons. Iran is still strong by its people, because during the war, that the Iranian leadership, they show and mentioned that the people in Iran, they are supporting the regime and they have a mental to defense their nation. Also Arakji, he said these things in his on his social media and on several of uh, statement. He released that statement to empathize that the people are supporting the regime, the people in Iran also they are fighting. We have witnessed in the war in 1979 during the Iran war also how much the Iranian nation they are supporting the regime, how much the Iranian nation they are behind their leadership. We have witnessed and we have heard about the million wave attack from the people. They are attacked the border between Iraq and Iran during the war, and how much they are loyal to their leadership. And today also during this funeral, it has a several of symbolic, but the significant message they want to send it to the international community, America, to Israel, that Iranian has a social cohesion and a close-knit society, all of them loyal to their leadership, despite there is a several of a spy or a Israeli agent, the people who was cooperated with Israel to leak the information from Iran, and they are started to code them and start to account them. The day before yesterday, Iran confirmed that they have a capturing, they have a hold around 600 Iranian who was in contact with Israelis intelligence service Mossad, as well as this is a message to these people who's cooperating with Israel and cooperating with any international intelligence service, that the people here supporting us, there is a few people who's against and a few people who's a fifth column in Iran, but also these people has a no exist on the ground. This is the clear message. The clear message also that Iran won in the war. The Revolutionary Guard manage and control this wave of conflict very well. That's it. People satisfied with their action, satisfied with their retaliation against Israel
Ali,
and
I will
America.
have
So
to
it's a clear message.
Ali, I will have to cut you off here as we have to move on to our next news. You will stay with us, and thank you for sharing that insight. Tensions remain high in the region as Israel said